Go. Hey, we live.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What's going on out there? Derek Martin from Three Dream Sports. I'm going to pass it over to my man James Kern.
Out here trying to get past the struggle, trying to make everything work. You know, we got people out here doing big things for us. Shout out to Amanda for making our plaque. You know, she's out here doing big things. Hit her up if you need anything done like that. But we're here to talk about the NFL. We're here to talk about the NFC North and the NFC South. My man Derek done disappeared because, you know, he's scared to talk football. He ain't ready for it. But we're going to go ahead and hop into the NFC North. Derek, where you want to start at?
How about we start in Green Bay, brother?
Oh, okay. So what? Tell me about Green Bay. What you like, what you don't like?
One, I thought it was interesting to see Nelson leave this year. I think it's the right move. His body's taken a beating over the years. All the weapons for Green Bay have taken a beating. You know, if it's concussions or, you know, tornness, brokenness, it seems like everyone around Aaron Rodgers is injured, including himself. So I think it's kind of good to try to move on, try to find something else. Jimmy Graham, though, they add him. I don't know. He can obviously be a weapon, but same issue. You don't know what you're going to get health-wise with him.
I mean, but if you look at it, my man stayed healthy out in Seattle. He did big things for Russell when Russell could actually, you know, have time to throw. And then the other pickup I like for the defense side of the ball is Wilkerson from the Jets. Had a couple of good years up there. They kind of got tired of his antics. They said, you know what, you need to go home, go on somewhere else. But with letting Jordy Nelson go, I think that opens up the spot for Devontae Adams to become the #1 receiver. But like you said, a lot of injuries with him. He's on that Wes Welker career path, a concussion every other game, but he's still still producing.
Yeah, I love Adams, man. I can't lie. I love the kid. I think he's got a bright future. The concern is his health. Can they keep him off the Welker plan? To keep his concussion count low? I mean, that's where I'm curious.
And then you also got to look at the running back situation for Green Bay. When was the last time they had a decent running back who could actually carry the team? I mean, they tried with Montgomery, putting him back there. He looked okay, but you could tell he was a wide receiver playing out of position.
I was just going to say, do you mean the actual wide receiver out there?
Montgomery trying to, anyways. Then last year they had, I mean, you can't even remember the running backs. I mean, that's how bad they were. And then they had, who's the guy who just got suspended because it's suspension season in the NFL?
That's Aaron Jones, man. He looks like he's going to have a bright future too, but he's saying here he got to figure out his suspension. Well, he got to figure that out too.
I know it's for 2 games, but what I've been reading, they're really in love with this kid Mays out of UTEP. They feel like with Jones being suspended for 2 games, that's going to open up the door, maybe get them a consistent running back. But with Green Bay, we all know they go as far as Aaron Rodgers. If Aaron Rodgers is healthy, they're a playoff team. They're a Super Bowl contender.
Hey, I got a question for you from Jeremy Anderson. He said, who does Rodgers hand the ball off besides Cobb still need a running back? I think you pretty much just answered that one.
I mean, they just need a running back. They need somebody who's serviceable. With Green Bay, I don't think they need a running back to take over the game. They just need somebody to allow them to do the play-action thing because with Graham, that's really going to open it up. That's going to open up the middle of the field with them. But if I know I'm walking in there and all I got to do is sit back and hopefully pick off Aaron Rodgers, which seems impossible, that's easier to play. But my concern with Green Bay is the defense. And I know you got some stats on that if you want to go ahead and throw that out there.
Yeah, you know, Green Bay's defense has definitely been a struggle with their pass defense. Last year they were ranked 23rd, and the year before that 31st. Now they took 2 DBs early rounds, the draft before, and they did the same thing this draft. First pick, who'd they get? I forget his name. Alexander out of Louisville. That's who they went, and then they go Josh Jackson, cornerback out of Iowa. So obviously they're concerned about their secondary. They know it's something they have to fix.
Well, I mean, we all know you can have the greatest quarterbacks in the world, you can have all that, but if you can't get a consistent pass rush, the quarterback can sit back there, watch Netflix, watch The Last Chance U, maybe order a beer, some popcorn, and he's just going to have all day. Now, what I'm
I got,
concerned, okay.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, brother.
Now, what I'm concerned about is Clay Matthews' health because once again, he came in the league. He was just a beast. He was a beast in it. He was doing whatever he wanted. Got hurt a little bit, got banged up, and now he's lost that edge. Like I don't see Clay. I'm not afraid of Clay Matthews anymore. I'd say, okay, Clay, you're on the field. You might get lucky. You know, he's lost that. We need to make sure we got two people over there, and that comes back to Green Bay needs a consistent pass rusher on the other side to help him out. So I feel like they should have went defensive line, linebacker, something like that to help him out. You know, maybe you drafted 2 cornerbacks last year. You do it again this year.
Right.
You can't put them all out there.
I got a question right here. Do they move on from Hundley if Rodgers gets hurt? And I'm going to say I don't think so. At the end of the day, he's a backup, and he's a solid backup. He was able to win a few games for them. And you got to remember, it's backup. There's not too many teams where you see either the Wentz and Foles situation. You know,
True.
It's just it's not realistic. So if you move on from him, do you really have someone that you're going to be able to pick up unless you reach and you see them go for Kaepernick, who we've seen make it to a Super Bowl? You know, backup-wise, I don't really see anyone that you're just going to make a move and say, okay, this guy could come in and win games right now. So I don't think so. I think they let him hold down the backup position.
Well, to that fan who asked that question, you also got to remember Green Bay's been known to develop backup quarterbacks and then trade them later. So that might be their plan with Hundley. Develop him. If they don't think he can replace him, move on. Because they also traded for Kaiser. I don't know why, but they did it. So they might say, okay, hey, out of these two, who do we like? Who do we want to be the backup or the heir apparent? So there's always that.
How you feeling about Chicago?
I like Chicago. I like what they're doing. I like Trubisky showing us a little more. They brought in Matt Nagy from Arizona, worked on it, Bruce Arians. Great quarterback coach, great quarterback guru, and I feel like he takes that next step. What I'm concerned about, like we talked about a couple of days ago, is the receivers. Kevin White always can't get right, can't stay healthy, and they need that. They need him to be healthy because they invested a first-round pick on him. And if you watch any West Virginia games, that kid could ball out. They just need him to be healthy. Now,
I gotta tell you, I like the fact that they got Allen Robinson lining up across from Kevin White. I think this is definitely gonna help them out. They got 2 solid running backs. I'm not gonna sit here and say, you know, they're obviously elite, but they're solid. You got Jordan Howard and Cohen back there. I think that they're going the right way, putting weapons that are pretty decent around their quarterback.
And I agree with that. And I like what they did in the draft. They grabbed Smith out of Georgia. I feel like if you watch the Oklahoma game, that kid can ball. If you watch any Georgia game, that kid is a solid linebacker. And I like that Chicago's going back to the old days, having just a boss defense, just ready to get out there and hold the game down. Because Trubisky's he's gonna give him a chance to win it, but he's gonna need his defense to kind of help him out on the mistakes he's gonna make. You know, limit the points that come off of those mistakes.
I'm excited to see him line up next to Floyd as well, man. I think that they're both going to play aggressive. I'm concerned about the DBs they have here. You know, they're decent, but they definitely have question marks. Prince of Mukamura, who we had for years, and there was games where I was like, this dude could be the next big thing. And then there was times where I was like, wait, do we really have a DB on that side? Like, what's going on?
I mean,
and it's just rough. So
he should have had plenty of practice catching INTs off of Eli during practice and all that stuff, because Eli can't throw to his receivers unless Odell's out there. That's the only receiver he can hit. But I'm not going.
We're going to talk about that next week. Don't disrespect the team. All right.
Look, you ain't got a heart of a giant. I mean, come on now. But I agree with you. It's the same problem with Green Bay. You need defensive backs because the league has become a passing league. Nobody really runs the ball unless you have like a Todd Gurley or maybe a Ingram, a Kamara, or like you guys got up there with Barkley, who I think he's gonna rookie of the year right there. You heard it first, Saquon Barkley. I mean,
put some respect. I like it. I like it.
I mean, I ain't gonna throw. I can't get mad at the kid. He showed what he can do. But we also understand that you need to stop the pass. But it'll be a good year for them. I don't know if they'll do big things. You know, we'll throw out our predictions later on about how the division will finish out. So let's see. We went to Chicago. You know what? Let's go to the Motor City. Let's hit up Detroit. Let's see what's going on up there. Talk to me, my man.
We got Eric Ebron gone. Pick up LeGarrette Blount. I love the move, even though he's getting up there in age. But he's a big back that finds the end zone. I like the move. I love the head coach they went with, Patricia. I thought that he was going to come to New York. I was excited, but hey,
don't nobody want to go up there.
I like it. I like the moves they made. I actually like this receiving core they have too with Tate and Jones. No matter what, whoever you're talking about, either receiver could go for 1,000 yards any season. I think Detroit is going the right way, man.
Do you think both of them can get 1,000 yards together?
Yes.
Or do you think it's one deal or the other? Okay, so you believe in both of them.
They both had good years last year. I think this is a good move for them. Detroit, they're going the right way. They in my opinion, they reached a little bit on the running back they got in the draft.
I mean,
they went after Kerryon Johnson. They could have got the kid that Washington got. What's his name again?
Darius Geis out of LSU. But he ran into some issues coming out of LSU. A lot of people, of course, are like, "Hey, you got issues, don't want you." But hey, you pass on them, that's your fault. But another thing, while we're on Kerryon Johnson, great kid. The only thing I fear about him is his durability. Because at Auburn, they used him a lot. And then if you watch the SEC Championship, Georgia was, Hulk Hogan leg dropping him, dropping elbows and knees.
WWE real quick.
Yeah, But if he's healthy, great kid. I think he provides that burst that Blount has, but doesn't really get to show. I mean, Blunt's more like, get me in the 10, I got you. Touchdown, no matter what.
I got a fan that has a question. Jeremy Anderson has a question for you. But before I do, I'll tell you what I like is with him pairing with Blount, this kid for the last 2 seasons at Auburn had 29 touchdowns.
Yes, sir.
That's huge. And then LeGarrette Blount, a couple of years ago for the Patriots, killed it in the red zone where he had, I think it was like 19 touchdowns or so. I think that could be scary once they get in the red zone and hard to stop. I think I could see something like that going. Jeremy Anderson says, Patriots North with Patricia, or does he have his own personality?
I feel like he's going to take he has his own personality, but he's going to take something from Belichick, because you don't come from that coaching tree and forget everything. I mean, Belichick was the constant. Every week to week, he had something new. And I also think that with them hiring Patricia, they're like, okay, we have an offense. We need to kind of work on our defense. And I think that helps them out. But all in all, Patricia develops his own style with a sprinkle of Belichick in there.
I like it. I agree. You got to remember, too, this dude, I think the difference is the fact that he is defensive-minded. I think you see him come out. I don't know if anyone did it better than the Patriots over the last forever now that I think about it. They control the first half as far as they bend but don't break. You might get some points on them. But as soon as that second half comes, I mean, it becomes pretty hard to score on the Patriots, or it has been while he was there. Granted, we've seen what happened in the Super Bowl, but I'm talking about overall games, his time there.
Well, I mean,
the changes they make, and Bill Belichick, of course, gets credit for that. But I think as a defensive coordinator, you got to show some respect for him and what he was doing. So
you're saying we got to put some spec on his name?
Absolutely.
Okay, put some spec on it. There you go. I mean, we done hit up the Motor City. We done been to the Windy City, Chicago. We done been to Green Bay. There's only one place left, man. We got to go to Minnesota.
I don't want to go. They're bullies, and I'm scared.
Man, you better man up and come on with me. So we're gonna
You
go
don't
up
want
here
to
and
know
we're gonna talk about Kirk Cousins that $84 million guaranteed. Not
why.
why? Because they said Case Keenum, you got us, you almost got us to the promised land. We're gonna get Kirk Cousins, and he gonna take us there. Do I like?
I don't like the contract. I can't lie. I mean, we talk about Peyton Manning. You could talk about Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers. Hell, even back in the day, Brett Favre. I
Oh,
don't care. You can bring up any legend. No one has had the full guaranteed money. What has Cousins done that says he deserves full guaranteed money?
I mean, when Washington franchise tags you twice, that says something. I mean,
Yeah.
I guess Minnesota said, hey, we're going to drink the Kool-Aid with you. We're going to give him a guaranteed contract. But what I like about that is they have a quarterback now that I think can actually help them. I mean,
Okay.
they went through Bradford. I feel bad for Bridgewater. I really do. I felt like Bridgewater was the quarterback until he had that horrible knee injury. But it's good to see that he's trying to work. He worked his way back. He got to play a little bit, so I'm proud about that. But it always seems like Minnesota's just been a quarterback away. Because if you think about it, they've got Cook, even though he's coming off that ACL injury, which is scary because you never know what you're going to get from any player coming back from an ACL injury. You got Diggs on the outside, and then if you go on the defense, they've got a star at every level. I mean, the defensive line, the linebackers, secondary.
They're beasts back there.
I mean, it's the
Jeremy Woods. He wanted to say real quick, Kurt hasn't lived up to the hype. I agree.
I mean, we see it every year in free agency. There's always that one player that we're like, he hasn't earned his money, but still teams overpay. And you know what? It ain't my money. It's somebody else's money. They got to move from their check-ins to their savings. So let them deal with that mess.
Yeah, I tell you what I did like. I like the fact that they drafted this kid, Mike Hughes, cornerback out of UCF. He's an aggressive dude.
Right
he
there.
likes to press. He wants to be in your face. And I think he just fits the defense. Like, these dudes are bullies. Like, I like it. He talks trash. I like this pickup.
I mean, if you look at it, they got Xavier Rhodes, who's just been around forever in the secondary, and he can help mold them because, they got Trey Waynes out of Michigan State a couple of years ago. He's finally coming into his own, and it's almost like you said, Minnesota is developing that press-cover defense, and they can play it, and they can play it really well, and it's amazing to watch. But with all that said, you still got to play the game. So go ahead and talk to me about where you see this division playing out. Who's going to be on top?
I got you. Check this out. So
okay.
I wrote down right here. Last year's records from worst to best. This is what we had. We had Chicago go 5-11.
Okay.
Green Bay 7-9.
All right.
Detroit went 9-7.
Won't happen
Minnesota
again.
owned the division, went 13-3. What I see happening, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go from worst to the best. To the winners of the division. I see Chicago coming in last.
Wow.
I think they fall off. By one game. I see them going 4-12. Man, they got a hard schedule. Week 8 and 9 is key for me because they got the Jets and Buffalo. I think you have to win those games because come week 10, every game after that is arguably possibly someone that could be in the playoffs except one game. They got Detroit, Minnesota, Detroit again. So right there, 3 games division. The Rams, Green Bay, 49ers, Minnesota again. I mean, it's just tough.
I'm going to say this. Tough. If they play, I see them beating Buffalo. I can see that happening. Yeah. I can see them beating the Jets. I can also see them beating the Giants. I say they 2-1 point in the first quarter. And they leave you.
Stop.
You know why? I heard they just signed a kicking net to cover Odell. That kicking net going to shut him down. But anyways, moving on. But you all right?
Did you buy new crayons for Cam Newton's retarded self? He got to figure out how to use those crayons instead of eating them.
He just took them. Hey, hold up. Let me stop you. Let me stop you right there. He just took them from that kid that wanted to fight him. He said, "Give me your crayons." But anyways, you look confused.
Let's see. We had questions here. Does Patterson become a better receiver with Cousin as quarterback?
Honestly, I don't know. I want to see them. I want to see preseason. I want to see how they they interact with each other because
Yeah, I agree.
anytime you get a new receiver and a new quarterback, it's timing and stuff like that. But do I think he can develop into a good receiver with Kirk Cousins? I'm going to say maybe. Because you just never know.
Of course it's possible. I think it will be a slight upgrade. Of course you got to get the timing down. But I do think he is an upgrade, Cousins. I just don't think he lived up to the hype that was around him. But let me continue real quick with my breakdown. I see Green Bay going 10-6, Detroit going 11-5,
Wow.
and then I got Minnesota winning the division 12-4.
Wow.
I got 3 teams winning triple-digit games. I think it's going to be a tough year.
Okay, so for Green Bay, where do we see their? What do you see their games where they must win? Because I know they've got the Patriots.
They got it tough, man. They got week 8. They got to go to Los Angeles to play the Rams, and then right after that, week 9, they go to New England. So that's tough. And right after that, they go to Miami. So I think you got to come away and try to, stay focused because those are hard games and at least be able to bounce back versus Miami because the hype around that Rams defense, of course, they got to show up and play, but on paper, that team looks ridiculous.
Well, I mean, even if you look at that, for me, I say they win they go 1-2 in those games. They're not going to win both of them. I say they've got a better chance at beating the Rams than they do the Patriots just because the Patriots are just that team right now that you're like, you know what? You got to play perfect because Tom Brady's got the refs. He's got everybody with him. I mean, unless he's deflating the balls again, we ain't got to worry about any of that stuff. But I like your picks for that division. I mean, I'm kind of on the same page. I feel like everybody goes 500. I think the Bears go 500. I think the Lions go 500. And I think it's a toss-up between Green Bay and Minnesota like it's always been for the last couple of years. Because as long as Aaron Rodgers is playing, Green Bay is pretty unbeatable.
Right.
But if he gets hurt, then I say they fall off again. But I like those predictions. I can't argue with them. Now, I'm excited because you know where we're going?
Oh, yeah.
We're going to
dirty.
We're going down to your area. We're going down to the NFC South. You know what?
Man.
Since you went ahead and threw it out, let's go ahead and hit up A-Town.
A-Town?
Let's go to Atlanta.
And listen, if they got Julio holding out, I think that comes to an end. They'll figure that out.
Okay.
Matt Ryan on this ridiculous 5-year contract where it's just quarterback money, but it's a little ridiculous.
So wait a minute. Do you think he didn't earn that money, or is it just ridiculous because?
Well, I don't think it's just hard, man. Like, how do you judge what a quarterback gets paid now? It's just I don't think he needs to get what he got. No, I don't think so. He had his good year when they went to the Super Bowl, MVP, and last year I didn't know where he was.
I mean, come on now. If you're getting all the way to the Super Bowl, being up by 28 points, and then you still lose, I'd be heartbroken too. I'd be concerned. I might need a day. He's going to bring it home.
But here's the scary thing. If Julio, what I see happen when he gets paid, they have Julio, Sanu, and now they got Ridley at receiver. This is going to be crazy, absolutely insane once they get that ball moving.
Okay, so let's talk about the draft picks. Let's talk about how teams let this happen. How did Calvin Ridley fall to the Falcons?
I don't know. I'm not a Panthers fan. I don't know how you guys did this.
Don't put this on us.
I don't.
Don't blame us.
Oh no, we getting there. It kind of was, yeah. But we got Graves song. Falcons still suck or still gonna suck. I don't know, man. This team got a defense. They got offense. They got multiple running backs. I mean, the last couple of years they've been a pretty solid team. I mean, they got to figure it out, obviously, come playoff Super Bowl time. But regular season, that's a scary team.
Man, that's like being okay. That's like doing good on a practice test. I mean, it don't matter, don't count.
I know. I know. You're absolutely right. But, you know, your team was there, too, in the Super Bowl.
Sir,
and see what happened.
Sir, let's not bring up the past.
Right.
Let's not live in the past, okay?
I'm just saying.
2018. Okay, we bigger and better things. Let's move on.
You know what?
I don't know why you're trying to hurt me.
Let's just go to Carolina. Talk to me about Carolina.
You know what? Here's the thing. I love Carolina. They got my heart. You know, I love Cam, even though he out here trying to fight kids and stuff like that. That's a whole different issue. We're going to get past that. I like the Norv Turner hire. I'm interested to see how this works with Cam. I'm also concerned about our DB situation because since we let, I'm not going to say his name because this might hurt you, because I think if him and Odell get in the cage, it's game over for Odell. He going to beat him up.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you know, he gonna get the money case and he gonna disappear. But ever since we let Josh Norman go, and then we made a trade we traded one of our DBs away for Torrey Smith.
To get Torrey, yeah.
That hurt me because we need DBs. Because if you look at it, this division is. You come to Carolina to make your bonus. If they say you need to get 100 catches, you're gonna get 95 in Carolina. They said you need to get 1,000 yards, you're gonna get most of them there.
Grave saw, I still think that locker room effed up.
Well, you know what? That's okay. Because look at the Giants. Look at the Giants last year.
You know what I mean?
Look at the Giants last year. They made it. They survived. I mean, that was a mess. But anyways, this season comes down to Cam Newton and accuracy. If he's throwing dots, if he's throwing it like he can, I think we're good. But when Cam starts airmailing passes, that kills us because we just have big receivers. I mean, DJ Moore we drafted.
Yeah, I was gonna say Moore's a little on the mini side.
But you know, he's not. We drafted him thinking. I felt like we drafted him hoping we get another Steve Smith. I don't think he'll be that type of player, and if he is, more power to him. You know, he can come say, you know what, stop hating and all that other good stuff. But all of our receivers are huge.
Jeremy Anderson wants to know, does the Norv Turner hire allow Cam Newton to get the ball to someone other than Greg Olsen?
First off, no. You know Greg Olsen always going to get the ball. I know that. You know that. Because Cam loves Greg Olsen. He's that safety blanket. I hope this does allow Cam to spread the ball around. But anybody who's watched a Carolina game knows Greg Olsen is getting at least 10 targets. So, fantasy football, get you Greg Olsen's. But let's go on the defensive side of the ball. Here's what I'm concerned about. Here's what I'm worried about. Luke. Not Uncle Luke, you know, not him, but Luke Kuechly. Luke Kuechly has to stay healthy.
Is he alive?
I mean, I think he still remembers his name. But, you know, in all honesty, that man is concussion prone. And it's scary because every time he gets bumped, it's a concussion. And once he gets hurt, our defense just falls apart because he's one of the best middle linebackers in the game. He can read the offense. He can get us in position. But without him, we just look lost. And then you also got to remember Thomas Davis was talking about retiring this year, but he got suspended, so now he's thinking about it. And then that's two great linebackers right there. I mean, Davis is suspended, but if Kuechly gets hurt within the first couple of games that Davis is suspended, I don't know what we do on defense. I feel like we just have to hope. I mean, what else you got?
Where is this?
Uh-oh.
Jeremy Anderson, Carolina has had good receivers, but Newton can't hit them. Here's the problem. Okay, I agree. Newton wants to overthrow. You know, his arm's a little off, right accuracy. When he came in, they had to break down the playbook and only teach him half the field at a time, and then they told him to run. You know, I think he's adjusting. I'm not too hard on Cam, to be honest, as other people. I like Cam. I think his weapons haven't been what they could be compared to other teams. I mean, think about it. They've had Stewart for years, and I don't understand how they kept him over D'Angelo Williams. His receiving core to me over the years, you know, Steve Smith, he started to age. They got rid of him. There was always that gap. Now you got Torrey Smith. You're bringing in more Funches. And you say yourself, you don't want to see Cam go deep. Well, when you bring in speed receivers, what do you – I mean, this is what he's going to want to do. I can see it happening where he's going deep, and I think his arm wins the battle all the time over these guys' legs. I think he will overthrow them. I can see that happening often, but I love the guy as far as that. But I think as far as the defense, I'm concerned about that too. You guys got to figure out the DBs. Your linebackers have got to stay healthy, and I think that's going to hurt you guys. You guys definitely have a tough schedule.
Well, I mean, we just need help all the way around. But anyways, if anybody hasn't seen it, go check out the video of Cam throwing to Antonio Brown. That gave me hope that one day Cam can figure it out. But I also realized when nobody on the field but him and Brown, so that made it look a little bit easier.
Hey, before we move on to New Orleans or Tampa, we got Bernadette Wilson. Okay, Cam and the kids. My take on that situation, those kids, he wanted to fight, as you say. Those needed a lesson in respect.
Okay.
I agree. They definitely were antagonizing him, but I agree with you 100%. Those kids needed a lesson on how to come with more stingers because, in my opinion, they were 100% right. That boy fumbled. I mean, I mean, it was a fumble. The kid was right. I agree. The thing they need to learn is how to come with more stingers. I mean,
but still, you know, to Bernadette Wilson out there, I'm pretty. He was at a football camp. You know, he was out there trying to help them kids. He was donating his time, his money. So I'm gonna say it like this: if Cam would have hit one of them, meh. You know, I'm pretty sure any other parent would have been like, "Yup, see what happens when you run your mouth? That's what you get. Now go on to the house. Stop crying."
Where are we going, New Orleans or Tampa? Where are we headed?
I mean, you know what? It's nice outside. Let's go to New Orleans. Let's go to New Orleans. Let's go to New Orleans. Let's go down there and let's talk about Drew Brees and company.
Talk to me about it.
I mean, Drew Brees and company doing big things. I like what I don't like. I'm gonna tell you what I don't like. The draft pick. That made no sense. I'm gonna let you talk on that later. But you've got two established running backs. Even though Ingram's, you know, been suspended for a couple of games, it's suspension season. Everybody gets suspended. But they still have Kamara, and I feel like Kamara is going to break a record. That kid is going to do something big this year, and I feel like he's going to establish himself as the back. And I feel like he gives them that Marshall Faulk type of feel, that guy who can, you know, run, catch out the backfield. And we saw what Marshall did when the greatest show on turf was running. You know, I feel like Kamara gives him that type of explosiveness out the backfield. Defensive side of the ball, I slept on them. I know everybody else slept on them, but that defense is beast. I was surprised.
I was 99.
Oh, we woke up and was like, oops. And they said, stay woke. And it was like, got me. But I like their defense. It's nice. You know, Lattimore doing big things. They got right. Now go ahead and talk to me about them draft picks.
Okay, so last year, this last season, they won every Rookie of the Year award.
Okay.
So, I mean, who am I to doubt them? But I thought they reached on Marcus Davenport. UTSA, most of y'all don't even know that is not an abbreviation for airport security. That is actually a D2 school.
University of Texas San Antonio, shout out to them.
Let me say this. No disrespect to anyone playing D2 because you're playing and good for you. Keep going after your dreams. I'm on this side while you're playing. But with that being said, I felt like what I would do is I would probably go after someone that's playing D1, right? That's going against your Auburn, Alabama, FSU, Georgia, something like that, where the competition's next level on a consistent basis. Because let's face it, when you go to the NFL, you're not going to go against schools that have slow players or a whole slow team or can't recruit because, you know, Alabama's stealing everybody. No. Only people getting drafted or making it and staying on rosters are people who can actually move fast, play, they're strong, they have the IQ. So, I don't know. I think that they could have maybe waited. And I get it. This kid was ranked a first-round pick, but I don't think you had to trade up to get him because they moved up quite a bit to get this pick.
They actually jumped up to Green Bay. Green Bay traded with them at Green Bay had the 14th pick. The Saints jumped up with them, and then the Green Bay actually, when it was all said and done, Green Bay won that trade out of the draft capital they got out of that. So I agree with you. I don't think that kid was going to go in the first round. I felt like he was going to slide, but the Saints saw something. They saw, hey, we might be able to get a great player, and they jumped for him.
I agree. I don't know though. I thought that they could have went elsewhere with this, but only time's gonna tell.
They
didn't have a second round pick as well. They had to wait till the third round, and they went wide receiver from Central Florida. Another not necessarily big school, Traquan Smith. So we're gonna have to wait and see. And I actually like when players come from smaller schools that play quarterback or receiver. I feel like you have less to work with, so you're used to putting it actually in tight spots, or you gotta do something ridiculous to catch. I don't know why. It's just something I believe in. I like it, so I can live with it. It's gonna give them time. We'll see how that turns out for them.
You can't go wrong with the Saints. They're gonna do big things. Now you know where I'm excited to go.
Stop.
I'm excited to go to your hometown, get on your bandwagon. You need to slide on over so that way I got a spot. I know deep down inside you say you bleed Giants and all that other stuff, but on the outside you got your Tampa Bay jersey. Look, you can't even hold the cup up right. I'm surprised you had to think about it.
I can't see it on the camera. I can't see it on the camera.
What I'm going to need you to do?
It's the Henny.
Oh, okay. All right, JR. I'm going to need you to put that down. You need to know how much time left on the clock. But we're going to go out there to Tampa Bay, and we're going to figure this out. Because
it's tough. It's tough, man. What's there to figure out? It's a mess. I figured it out.
That's what we got to figure out.
Let's start over. Let's blow it up and start over. We got Winston suspended. We got Martin's gone, which I'm happy. It was about time. They did a ridiculous trade to get JPP. I love JPP.
Fireworks Safety Week.
Huge JPP fan. I loved him for what he's done for the Giants, and it's time. He helped us get a Super Bowl. But let's face it, he's missing his hand. His hand looks like this now.
He throwing up L's?
It's rough. It's rough. And even though he had like 8 sacks, he definitely left a lot on the table. He left a lot where he couldn't wrap up, and that's a concern.
Yes,
but
sir.
I'm so happy we do not have to pay this money no more. We'll help you pay this, Tampa. And now this is your financial issue.
No, you ain't saying.
Thank you.
You made it sound like it was child support. Like y'all got to pay that man. You got to pay that team child support to take him.
He said, Gravesaw said, full fingers or post-op. Listen, the dude's got 2.5 at most fingers.
Stop it.
That's what I'm giving him.
Stop it. But with Tampa, it's a concern. Like you said, I agree with you. It's a mess. I feel like their coach has to be his either make it or break it year. Dirk Koetter has to figure it out. If not, they need to go ahead and move on. What I'm concerned about is their draft pick, Vita Vea out of Washington. That made no sense to me. If we got Tampa Bay fans out there, we need them to speak to us. I hope we got some Dolphin fans out there because y'all are dirty, what y'all did to Tampa Bay. How y'all going to do that? How y'all going to take Fitzpatrick in front of them, knowing they wanted him? Y'all just mean. Y'all some bullies.
Listen, Miami's a violent place. They'll rob you without a care in the world, and that's exactly what they did. They lived up to it, and they robbed them. They didn't care. They didn't think twice. Listen, as much as I just blinked, I blinked twice, they already robbed them. They already had the draft pick and said no givebacks. It's done.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. But, when you have a player, when you have Derwin James still on the board, and you take Vita Vea, that's telling me you believe in Vita Vea to be something special. You believe in him to be maybe a Warren Sapp type player, maybe an Aaron Donald.
Time is only going to tell that, but here's the thing. You could have went and got a defensive tackle, I feel like, the next round, the round after that, second, third, fourth, because let's face it, defensive tackles are pretty much just clogging that middle, trying to block the run lane so we can get the tackle here completed.
But
I don't know if you needed to make this pick here. You definitely need DB help, though, because you guys were getting annihilated by everyone. Everyone was just flying past you guys, DBs, and
I mean,
you missed out on James. You missed Fitzpatrick. I just don't get it.
I mean, if you think about it, who do they have as DBs? I mean, do they still have Grimes? Because I know
he's one of them.
That's a mess because it seems like every time you turn on ESPN, his wife talking trash for everybody.
First off, you're not going to talk about the defensive coordinator like that.
Oh.
You're going to.
Oh.
I feel like she's gotta be part of the coaching staff. The way she just talks is so loose, and she don't care. She's got to be on the coaching staff.
I thought she was the owner.
She might be.
You never know. You never know these days. But like you said, they should have took James. And if they were going to go defensive tackle, I'd have waited till this year's draft because you got Ed Oliver out of Houston coming out. You got Gary out of Michigan coming out. And if you haven't watched the Houston game to see Ed Oliver, I recommend you turn in and just to watch him. That dude is a beast. He's a gifted player. He's a once in a lifetime, I feel like, defensive tackle. So is Gary, and I feel like those are the players you take in the first round. But hey, who am I? I'm sitting out here in Colorado trying to pretend like I know what I'm doing. They out there making millions, so I'm gonna leave them alone.
Hey, so let me hit you with this one real quick, James. I'm gonna do it again, like we did for the last division. From worst to best last year's stats: Tampa went 5-11. Atlanta 10-6. New Orleans and Carolina both went 11-5. I believe New Orleans had the tiebreaker though.
Okay.
How do you see it playing out this year?
Let's see. You started with Tampa Bay at 5-11. They don't make that mark again because Jameis is suspended for those first 3 games, and then they've got Fitzpatrick.
Hey, let me cut you real quick.
Okay.
Let me throw out those 3 games for you because I mean, when you say 3 games over 16, a lot of people sit here and they'll say, "Oh, we still have a full season." You do, yes.
True.
But let me throw out how big this is. You got New Orleans. I'm counting that as an L. You got Philadelphia. That's an L.
True.
You got Pittsburgh Steelers. That's an L. Hey. I see it as you starting 0-3.
That's true. And then if
it's crazy. I mean, it's a big blow.
And then even if you think about it, Winston comes back after 3 games. You still got to get used to playing. Like, I know this is his job and all that other stuff, but you done sat out for 3 games. You got to come in. You got to kind of get the timing and stuff down like that. And let's just say the perfect storm happens and Fitzpatrick goes 3-0. Does Jameis Winston even come back and get the start? I mean, what do you do then? Because now you got the first pick. You got a number 1 pick sitting on the bench holding the clipboard. I mean, if any fans out there want to Google that and see if that's ever happened, because I don't think it's ever happened. Unless it was his rookie season and they were just trying to wait for him to get ready. But
so what do you see Tampa doing? What's their record?
Let's see. I say they go 2-14.
Oh, my goodness.
I say they looking at the first pick again. But I'm going to say this. Maybe they're scared of Florida State players after that kicker they took in the 2nd round. They're still recovering from that. It looks like you got something to say. Somebody got a question?
Yeah, I'm reading a question from Jeremy Woods. He says, do you think they drop Winston? My opinion is I don't know if they necessarily drop him. I definitely think it depends on what negotiation happens this year with contracts. He might ask for big money, but I think you missed out this year. They're saying this quarterback class that just happened is way better than the one coming up. Obviously,
yes,
only time's going to tell. But with that being said, you missed out on drafting someone if you felt that was the need, to replace him. But Winston's definitely on a short leash. I mean, I think, like I said, it's time for Tampa to blow it up. They missed their quarterback window in this year's draft, and you got Winston, who clearly still doesn't know how to act. So, I mean, I don't know what you do.
Okay, so who was the second team you listed? Let's see, was it Carolina?
Let's see. Yes, the second was Carolina. Before you start, this one's for you, Jeremy. Anderson says, so does Winston play more in preseason with the suspension, or does Fitz get the reps?
I say Winston will get some reps, but I agree with Jeremy. They need to get Fitz all the reps they can in preseason. And I feel like maybe I say Winston plays the first quarter, maybe the first series of each game, and then they turn it over to Fitz. And I don't who's their backup after Fitz, because I don't think they have anybody they really need to give reps to. So I say maybe they give Winston 2 series just to get out there with the starters, and then they let Fitz play the game out.
I think what you got to do, because of the rules, these guys don't get to go live too much in their practices. We see Baltimore's taking a lot of fines and weird punishments, losing this, that. I think Winston has to get decent amount of playing time, because the worst thing you can see happen, it's happened quite often with the rule changes. We get a guy that hasn't played now, let's say he only plays a couple of quarters in the preseason, not enough for a full game, which I'm not going to say he'll play a full game, by the way, in the preseason, but he's not going to play for almost a month. I mean, you hate for him to make a movement, and because he likes to roll out as well when it comes time. You'd hate to see him roll out and tear sign. You want him to be in football shape. So I think game 3, I think Fitz plays game 4, but I think you want to give Winston quite a bit of reps in game 2 or 3, just so, he's kind of got the live feeling.
Okay. So we were at Carolina, and their record was, what'd you say the record was last year?
They went 11-5.
I say they repeat that. I say they go 11-5 again. I say we see an improvement with Cam and North Turner.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel they go 11-5 because Christian McCaffrey has to blow up this year, has to do big things. My concern is Curtis Samuel. They drafted him as kind of that Cobb type receiver and stuff like that, but he didn't play last year. So if they can get everybody healthy, they can keep everybody healthy, I say they repeat. But I say they win the division.
Oh my!
I say
my headset's broke. What'd you say?
I say Carolina's gonna win the division. They're gonna beat New Orleans out for it. I mean, hold up. Oh,
hello?
Who are you talking to?
Hello.
Well, you better get it.
Jesus,
my bad. Go ahead.
You know what? You do answer prayers. Yes, I need you, Jesus, to
Come
help
on
my
now.
friend. I need you to help my friend James Kern.
Oh wow.
The lack of oxygen is killing him in Colorado.
No, it ain't. It's the Henny. Come on now.
Thank you, Jesus.
Okay, so you're gonna answer that. So what you're saying is you don't talk to the man, and we're gonna go ahead and get that division.
Jesus is gonna help you. Don't worry, help is on the way.
Okay, well you know what? When he get done helping me, I'm gonna send him up to New York. He gonna help y'all. He gonna help Eli figure out what team he throw to. I mean, but I say it's a tie between New Orleans and Carolina, with Carolina taking the tiebreaker. I mean, you looking concerned, you looking scared, you looking like.
I'm mind blown that you said that. I mean, I just don't even know what else to say to that. I mean, wow.
I mean, and then with Atlanta, they're gonna come in third.
Okay.
They're gonna come in.
What do you see them doing?
Nothing good, nothing wonderful, nothing spectacular. I feel like that Super Bowl. That Super Bowl hangover. I know they say it only lasts for a year and all that other stuff. But if you look at it, when Kyle Shanahan went out to the 49ers, Matt Ryan just kind of fell off. So was Shanahan the brains behind the operation and helping Matt Ryan out? Or was it just because the Super Bowl? That's what I'm concerned about. I want to see how they do this year with the full season under the new not under the new. Oh, go ahead.
Jeremy Anderson says no wild card from this division, and here's the thing. I don't know about no wild card because there's still 2 teams. Let me give you this rundown. I got Tampa. I got them. They'll improve by 1 game. I'll give them 6-10. But here's my prediction.
Okay.
On top of the 6-10, this is it. Boom. New head coach next year. This comes to an end. It's time. It's time to start over. That's it. Coming in 3rd place, I'm excited about it. Carolina Panthers 6-10. I see them doing the same thing as Tampa Bay. And the only reason, to be honest, no, I think you guys got a solid team, but your guys' schedule was pretty rough that second half as well. And I just don't know if it'll be enough come second half with injuries by the time that plays. And, Cam Newton trying to throw to you all the way in Colorado from Carolina. It's going to be a mess. But after that, last year we had New Orleans go 11-5 and Atlanta go 10-6. I have them just flip-flopping. So this year I got New Orleans going 10-6 and Atlanta winning the division at 11-5.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what I see.
Wow, stop it, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, that is... I mean, if I
heard a bing. Was that Jesus finally contacted?
You know what, he just... No, that wasn't Jesus, but stop it.
Oh.
But you... See, you trying to get me beat up. You gonna get... Somebody gonna call me, boy, y'all gonna stop playing with the Lord's name. Y'all gonna stop. But I like it. I'm not gonna argue with you on that one. But do we got any questions from the fans? Anything they want to talk about real quick? We got a couple more minutes before we gotta go. Yeah,
y'all let us know if you guys want to talk about anything. It doesn't necessarily have to be what we're talking about right now. Next week, so you guys do know, our next show we're doing, it will be the NFC East and West. We're talking East and West. So we're staying in the NFC. We're just going East and West on them. So that your team falls under there. You might want to tune in, see what we have to say. I know Jeremy Woods was asking. We will be talking about your Seahawks. We got a lot to talk about.
Also,
can't wait to talk about my Niners, Jeremy Anderson said.
Yes, sir. Also, if you're not sure about it, hey, go to the page, become friends with Everything Sports on Facebook. That's where we post the schedule. That's where we like you guys to drop your comments, things you like, things you didn't like. Maybe you got something you want us to cover, and we will work it in. I know we had somebody ask about,
Oh, man.
Well, we got jokes?
Oh, man. It's turning that way.
Okay.
Oh, man. Bernadette Wilson, please, Jesus, take the wheel.
Oh,
please
stop
keep the Panthers out your mouth. I'm just going to sit back and see what the Giants do this season.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hey, shots fired. Shots fired.
Odell's healthy. We got a running game. You going to see.
I mean, Odell's healthy as long as he don't fight a kicking net, unless he on a boat,
First off, he proposed to the kicking net. That's a happy relationship. Stop trying to break it up.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm trying to move in on his girl. It's okay. I know Bernadette Wilson asked the question earlier about LeBron and the Lakers, asking if he's going to build a dynasty. I think with LeBron going out there, he's going to groom the next Lakers super team. They're going to try to get Kawhi out there, and he's going to help set them up so that way when Melo, Jello, and all the LaMangelo balls get it to the league and they eventually make it to the Lakers, they're going to win.
They don't. They don't make it.
They don't?
Jello, Bill Cosby, all of that type of stuff. That stays. That's done. That's done. It's unfortunate because I was a big fan at first of what LeVar was doing for his children. I think we definitely don't see enough father figures out there pushing for their kids. We always see the negative, so I was definitely supportive. But he definitely made a bonehead decision putting his kids overseas and affecting his youngest child's education. He didn't even let him take a chance of getting that. And now affecting his middle child's chances of going pro. He should have let his son man up, take the suspension, and just go to a new team and move on. So I'm kind of falling off that, his will. Jeremy Anderson, where does Des Bryant end up? I got to tell you, the talk has been that he ends up with the Giants, waiting for training camp to get started. And the price should be low. It sounds like if it happens, it'll be a 1-year deal for a few million. I don't know how I feel. We've seen that he struggled with
quarterbacks who can't
Prescott.
throw.
So I got mixed feelings about it. Obviously, our receiver core is pretty weak after Shepard. Shepard, it gets a little thin. We've seen that last year. So I'll take Dez. But, I want him to be in Brandon Marshall's spot, be the fourth option actually behind Evan Ingram also. But
wow, you gonna put him behind the tight end?
I don't need him to come in because we got Odell, we got the star that no one could stop him. Evan Ingram went bananas his rookie year as a tight end. Shepard showed he could ball. He just got injured. So But my prediction is going to be he ends up in New York. What about you, James?
Honestly, I don't know where Dez ends up because Dez should have took that money Baltimore was offering him, but he turned it down. He said, "No, sir." That was dumb. That was dumb because he's not the Dez we remember. He's not the Dez who we were arguing, was it a catch, was it not a catch? But
no, we just know it's not a catch now.
Oh,
we
no.
Just know he's just not catching.
We still don't know what a catch is to this day. I mean, every other day the rules change.
No, I mean him catching. We just know he dropping everything.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'll agree with you on that one. Honestly, I don't know where Dez ends up because I don't know who wants to take on that headache because with Dez, you need a Aaron Rodgers, a Tom Brady, a Drew Brees type quarterback who can put it on him. Because if you look at it when he had Romo, who could, when he wasn't hurt or he wasn't like messing up, he could throw it to where he wanted. If you watched, is on Amazon where they follow the NFL teams, like they did the Cardinals one year, they did the Cowboys. They showed a practice session where Dez was literally throwing a fit because Prescott wouldn't throw it where he wanted. And he kept telling him that. And I'm like, see, that's not good.
Right. You're absolutely right.
So, I don't know where Dez ends up.
He's going to end up, we got a fan saying he's going to end up at the house with the rest of us on the couch.
Hey.
Well, if he does, make sure, I hope someone's able to reach out to him the same way we're reaching out to him. He can join our fantasy league.
Yes,
Everything
sir.
Sports. We got a few going. We got trophies over there. Hey, I would love to add a celebrity. We have multiple leagues over there. I would love to add a celebrity.
That would be pretty. Hey, he could even get on the show. Be a guest. Be a guest host.
I'm just saying. I would love it.
Can't pay him, but
hey, shout out actually. Both of our champions from the leagues are in here. We got Jeremy Anderson in here, Jeremy Woods. Both of them won last year's fantasy championships and both have trophies.
There you go. Let's give them a little clap.
Not too much clapping because I plan on taking both of them back.
Yeah, you can't take things back.
Yes, I can. I'm winning the trophy this year in both leagues. I'm calling it. You got lucky. Because Jeremy Woods actually he got lucky. Anderson, I had nothing to do with that. You would have beat me, but Woods, you got lucky. You didn't play me. I followed it afterwards when you made it to the championship, and I outscored everyone. That's neither here or lost. I'm sorry. It hurts. It hurts me till this moment. I'm sorry.
I mean, if there's, you know what? I'm gonna say this. You done got too excited. I'm telling you right now, I'm coming for you. I'm going to take it from you. You know what I'm going to do just to make you mad? I'm going to draft Saquon Barkley right in front of you. Right before you even get a chance. And then I'm going to offer you a trade. I'm going to let you trade.
I would say I would draft a Panther player, but I'm not confident that they'll put up fantasy numbers.
Oh, okay. So we're gonna go that route.
I'm just saying.
I mean, does anybody else got any questions or anything like that? Because I know we could talk trash to each other all day, and y'all can sit here and watch it.
Yeah, we got a couple more minutes before we wrap up. Y'all want to talk anything? Basketball, football, baseball, whatever you guys want.
I mean, we got any World Cup fans out there? We down to the Final Four.
Yeah, it's getting real.
So
Brazil's gone. That hurt.
I mean, I don't know why it hurt. It ain't like, you a fan of Brazil?
I mean, I put my money on them. I said it in the last show. I said if I'm a betting man, that's where my money's going.
Oh, see, that's what you get for gambling.
Well, I mean, they changed the laws.
Now I'm gonna go down to the gas station gamble. You see, you got a problem.
I mean,
but
how about the Red Sox? Picking up J.D. Martinez late in training camp.
That was a great move to replace David Ortiz. I mean, you can't go wrong with that. And they didn't overpay. I felt like they gave him a fair contract. They didn't overpay. But we've seen that a lot where teams wait for it and they wanted to overpay. Even with a slow market, they were still smart about it. So big ups to the Red Sox. I mean, big up to Mookie Betts. That dude is just, he's doing big things.
Living his best life.
Living his best life. I mean, big up to the, this is going to hurt to say, but big up to the Yankees because they just hitting everything. If it ain't, everything they hit's going out the park. I watched the Blue Jays game today. That's just scary. That is unnecessary. I feel like they need to put a cheat code. You know what? Stand Stanton and Judge both can't play in the same game. You get one or the other. That's unnecessary. That's unfair.
With that being said, guys, we've got to wrap it up. I just want you to know in the further shows, once we get more, make sure, first off, make sure you like and subscribe. Like this video, subscribe. But the plan is, you guys, for anyone that is commenting, we're going to select a random fan. It will be at random choice. And we will be giving out stuff like this, little plaques, cups, and whatnot. So that's why we're showing it off. Please go follow Amanda Vidal on Facebook. She's awesome. She makes everything, but
yes, she does.
She will be making some stuff for us, and we'll get it out there.
Also, Facebook, Everything Sports. Go to that page, like us, friend us there. Drop your comments, your concerns about the show. We thank y'all for watching. It's Sunday.
Subscribe.
Oh, that's right. Subscribe to that page too. But thank you for coming out. Thank you for spending an hour with us. We hope you enjoyed the show. I'm James Kern. That's Derek Martin. This is 3 Dream Sports. Hey, big ups to everybody. Hey, do big things this week.